Okay, so I just got the McFarlane Batwing in the mail like literally like an hour ago. I couldn't find a video on YouTube of anybody doing a comparison between the Spin Master and the McFarlane in terms of like actual comparison side by side, so that's what I want to do. The best I could find was somebody that used a cardboard cutout of an approximation of what the McFarlane Batwing was going to be. And not that I'm knocking that, but I think it might be really useful for people to see both. I do know that a lot of people are going to say that McFarlane one is not worth it at the $250 cost, and I get it. It is a lot. The Spin Master is only like 40 bucks at Target, and that's way more reasonable. But for the price difference, they are really different products. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so this is the Spin Master Batwing, and I'm going to put a few stats on screen right now, showing how much it weighs in box and how much it weighs out of box. And the difference is obviously the weight of the box, but also this Batman. So this Batman is around 11, almost 12 inches tall. And he himself doesn't weigh that much, so that's kind of whatever. Anyway, this Batwing looks fine. I think it would actually work really well as a display piece, as a decorative piece. It's not too bad. I think my one complaint right off the bat is the clear canopy. And the reason why it's clear, if it's not already obvious, is because Batman is supposed to fit inside. So he would fit inside like this, and you would close it up and be done. So because it's not meant with smaller figures in mind, they have it clear like that. So if you wanted to use it as a display piece, my only recommendation would be to paint it maybe up to this line, give or take. And then looking at the bottom side, so I do have the wheels popped out, but they do fold in just fine. And you can see that the wings are like hollowed out. So these are very basic plastic pieces. This is cool that we've got these kind of turbine things here. And that's pretty much it. The underside, outside of the turbine things, don't really have much in terms of like design, aesthetic, or anything like that. So the box on this does say that it's 27 inches across at its widest, and that's true. That's more than true. This is closer to 27 and a half, give or take. So that's cool. In the box, it was just the three pieces. We had the main middle with the canopy, and then the two wings, and then they just slotted in, no big deal. They should slot right back out without any problem. I'm not really seeing any kind of paint on here anywhere. This looks like it was just molded in black and was done. Okay, here is the McFarlane. This is obviously much bigger. I've not moved the camera up at all, and you can already see how much taller it is. So let's move back a bit if we can. You can see a bracket there in white, kind of, one right over here. And those are for holding up a bar to hang clothes on, because my recording desk is actually inside of a closet. And so you can see how much taller that is. So let's first take a quick look at the McFarlane Batwing, and then we'll do a comparison. So again, super wide. You can see that it's got actually some really nice paint applications on it. It's not just gray, but it's got markings to show like wear and tear on it, right? So it's not just a pristine Batwing, which is neat. And then we've got a few like fully silver pieces over there. I don't know if you can tell from the angle, but the cockpit has several painted things inside of that. The cockpit of the Spin Master, and I'll throw a picture up here, was just plain. It's just black because obviously it's just gonna have the 11-inch Batman inside of it, so there wasn't really much to see anyway. In the box, this actually came in 7 total pieces. We had the main cockpit, we had the 2 wings, we had these 2 fins, and then the 2 ears of the bat were separate pieces. So they all slide together. They're all marked with L's and R's so that you know exactly which side that they go on, because they all go on a very specific side, so you can't just swap them around however you see fit. So on the bottom side, you can see that I also have the wheels popped out here, but they do go inside of here and close up, which is super cool. And let's see here. Oh, so these fin things kind of come down. It looks like they're supposed to have like some pieces to look like, you know, jet boosters kind of stuff in there. Nothing is hollowed out. That just looks like they were formed pieces the way that the Spin Master one does. We have our turbines here still. These also have the holes so that you can actually peg it into a wall. It comes with a wall mount if you don't already know that. These look like they can pop out in some kind of way, but I don't think they actually can. I think that has more to do with how they put the whole thing together. And that's also true with this. This looks like it can come out, but I think, again, that's just how it was put together. So, but otherwise, this Batwing underside looks really, really cool. We also even have the underside window, which obviously Batman would use to be able to see down below himself. And we don't have that at all in the Spin Master version. And again, I think the paint apps look really good. So if you are not someone that likes to customize or are not comfortable with painting, then I say this looks really, really great for what you're getting. And even like it even looks a little dirty in a way, not just weathered, but a little dirty, like dirt. I think that actually comes off really well. And a few more marks over there of like what looks like it's dirt, some here kind of scraping. That's really cool. I actually like that a lot. So from wing to wing at the widest points, we're looking at about just over 33.5 inches across, which is mighty large, especially when you consider that it's not just a matter of it being like wider, but it's scaled much larger all around. So I'm holding one on top of the other, but obviously the fins on the McFarlane one prevent me from being able to lay it totally flat. So I'm gonna try putting both undersides on top of each other to try to get a close as possible comparison. This is as centered and as head-on as I can make it. So you can see it's longer on both top and bottom. The wings come out much wider on both sides. It's obviously a much larger Batwing. And again, comparing the bottom side, so that's the bottom side of the McFarlane. Here's the bottom side of our Spin Master. So, you know, as an example, if you were going to hang these overhead and have a Batman inside, then the underside of this would look terrible to actually look at if you had this hanging up from a ceiling, but the McFarlane would look fantastic hanging from a ceiling, just because all of that bottom side looks great. It's perfect for that, I would say. Otherwise, if you're gonna hang it against the wall and only really see the top side, then both will look good. Although I think the McFarlane all around just looks much, much better. All right, so here we're gonna try another way to compare. So that's obviously the McFarlane, and here is the Spin Master right on top of it. And if we put it totally to the side, you can see that with the Spin Master and the McFarlane, as close to the same with the tips on that side, that the back side is definitely much shorter. You can see a big difference in detail and paint apps kind of all around. Okay, we have the two canopies side by side as well as I could possibly get them. Obviously, I need to do them without the wings because they're just gigantic. So like I said, you would want to paint this probably down to maybe here, maybe here, if you wanted it to look more like the movie version. Otherwise, we can see that they clearly have similar ideas with the design in terms of, like, you can see that we've got this bit of design here that they're also doing something similar, but obviously a more basic version of over there. We have these vents here and these vents here. So conceptually the same, but aesthetically very different. And you can see that, you know, again, this is molded black. This was molded, looks like gray. This was molded gray. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the original gray. And then, because it's kind of shiny, but then the gray that it has is more matted. So that should mean that they did apply either like a matte coating on it, or that they even painted it with another gray on top and then painted the weathering kind of all over the place. Here are the bellies of both of the Batwings. Like I said, this one has very little design outside of, it looks like the turbines and some more vents on the bottom side, but this has designs kind of all over. Like, once the wings are on, you don't even see any screws. So that's really, really nice with the McFarlane. I'm very happy with that so far. And here we're doing a wing comparison. McFarlane in my left hand, Spin Master in my right. And you can see how different those look right side by side. So what's really interesting about the wings too is that the McFarlane one even goes so far as to even get it shaped the way that it probably would be based on if it was a real thing. So even though this is the right side wing, it curves, you can kind of see like this, and then kind of comes up. But the Spin Master is just a straight kind of humps over like that. So while aesthetically it doesn't take away from what the Spin Master looks like, I think the fact that McFarlane's does go that extra step is just a really, really cool detail on it. And then again, if we look at the undersides to compare, there's just no comparison. The McFarlane is obviously much, much better than the Spin Master. Here's the Spin Master and a NECA Batman 1989. And obviously there are no controls or anything for him to even sit close to. There is no actual seat for him to sit into either. And even if there were, because of this design, he can't even sit upright because he would get smashed. So this would have to sit kind of like that for him to be in there. So without a lot of modification, this one will not fit a regular figure, 7-inch or not. So for the McFarlane Batwing, you actually open the canopy by pressing that, and it just flips right open. And we've got my same NECA Batman 1989 in there, and closed up. And that looks super, super cool. I am very excited about that. Yeah. I like it. That's awesome. So then who is this for? This is $250 retail from McFarlane. You can only get it from McFarlane. This one from Spin Master is exclusive to Target and is $40. And I won't lie to you, $250 is a lot of money. Like, I get it, and I don't disagree with that. $40 is much more palatable. McFarlane's Batmobile was only $60 at release. But why the price discrepancy, right? Well, I feel like this is a much, much more polished product, even more so than the McFarlane Batmobile was. That one still has a lot of things that I think could be a lot better about it. The gray canopy is an issue. The fitment of all the Batmans aren't even that great either. Even for the ones that it's actually designed for, they don't fit perfectly, which is kind of weird. And if you want to see that, I've got two different videos, but I'll put one of them up in the corner right here, so check that out after this video. But otherwise, this is just such a polished product, right? I mean, if you look at it, there are no screws to be seen, right? And that to me is amazing, right? That's the kind of thing that it blurs the lines of reality, right? And that's cool. That's one of the most fun things that you can have happen when you have a toy that can do that, right? And I think as an example, the Mezco Batman 1989 does a really good job of that because you don't see any of the joints because of the rubber body. So it really blurs those lines. So I would say if you're a casual fan of Batman, that obviously the McFarlane is insane. It doesn't make any sense to get this one if Batman is just, you know, a cool superhero to you. This one would be just fine if you just want a Batwing and don't need all of like the crazy amount of detail. But I think this is for the absolute crazy off the rocker Batman fan. If you're like me and you grew up watching the Michael Keaton movies and the animated series and so on and so forth, and you love Batman, I feel like this is a no-brainer because there's just so much attention to detail, and like I really feel that there was a lot of care and thought put into this Batwing. And obviously I wish it would be cheaper. I think a lot of people would feel a lot more comfortable at $150, but this is what we're getting, and it's exclusive to the McFarlane toy store. So if you want it, that's where you can get it. I believe it's still in stock at the time of this recording. So if you still want one, go get one from there. I happen to get this on a deal that they had where you get the Batmobile and the Batwing. So now I've got an extra Batmobile that I might be modifying in a future video, so stick around for that. Otherwise, you should definitely check out my Batman comparison of the SH Figure Arts, the Mezco, and the NECA one, and I'll link that right here. Oh. Whew.